Before moving to the infamous farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island, the Perron family lived a relatively normal life. They were a close-knit family with 5 daughters, and they moved frequently due to Roger's work. Carolyn Perron had always been drawn to old homes, appreciating their history and charm. The family enjoyed a typical American suburban life, with the girls attending school and participating in various activities. In January 1971, the Perron family moved into a large 14-room farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. The house, known as the Arnold Estate, was built in 1736 and had a long and often tragic history. They were initially attracted to the house because of its spaciousness, which was perfect for their large family, and its quaint historical charm. The Perron family bought the Arnold Estate from a man named Mr. Kenyon. Mr. Kenyon, who was an elderly gentleman, had lived in the house for many years. According to Andrea Perron's accounts in her book, House of Darkness, House of Light, Mr. Kenyon did indeed warn the Perron family about the house. As the Perrons were moving in, Mr. Kenyon advised Roger Perron to leave the lights on at night. This warning, however, was vague and did not come with specific details about the hauntings or the nature of the disturbances the family would later experience. Mr. Kenyon's cryptic advice was one of the early signs that there might be more to the house than its historical charm. Almost immediately after moving in, the Perron family began experiencing strange and unsettling phenomena. The experiences varied objects being misplaced or moved, to terrifying encounters with malevolent spirits. The children especially reported seeing and interacting with various entities. The Perron family did believe that one of the spirits in the house was that of an old woman who would tuck them in at night. This particular entity was considered one of the more benign spirits in the Arnold estate. Several members of the family, especially the younger daughters, reported feeling as though they were being tucked in snugly under their blankets by an unseen presence. They described it as a comforting maternal action, which contrasted sharply with the more malevolent spirits they encountered. This spirit was thought to be a nurturing presence, providing a sense of protection amidst the chaos caused by the other, more hostile entities in the house. According to Andrea Perron's accounts, one of the spirits did indeed communicate with the Perron family about the presence of dead soldiers in the house. In her book, Andrea describes an encounter where one of the spirits told her sister, Cindy, that there were 7 dead soldiers buried within the walls of the house. The kids would often wake up in the middle of the night, frightened by shadows that seemed to move on their own, or by whispers that had no source. Carolyn and Roger, though initially skeptical, could not deny the growing unease that permeated the house. Little did they know, these were just the early signs of a haunting that would soon escalate into a full-fledged nightmare. The Perron family's experiences began subtly, but soon escalated into a series of unnerving events. It started with small, almost benign occurrences that could be easily rationalized. Doors would open and close on their own, and items would go missing only to reappear in different places. The family also experienced sudden, inexplicable cold spots within the house. These cold drafts would move through rooms even when all windows were closed, chilling the air and sending shivers down the spines of anyone who walked through them. These cold spots were often accompanied by a sense of dread, as if something unseen was watching and following them. As the days turned into weeks, the activity in the house grew more pronounced. Unexplained voices were heard, ranging from soft whispers to angry shouts. These voices seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere, echoing through the halls and rooms, adding to the family's growing fear. It was clear that the Arnold estate was not just an old house with a few quirks. It was a place deeply entrenched in the supernatural, and the Perron family was at the heart of its haunting. As the weeks progressed, the haunting at the Arnold estate took on a more aggressive and physical nature. The Perron family began to experience classic poltergeist activity, with objects moving inexplicably and violently. Items would be thrown across the room, furniture would shift positions overnight, and dishes would crash to the floor with no apparent cause. One particularly disturbing incident involved the family's dining room table. One evening, as they sat down for dinner, the table began to vibrate and then lifted off the ground, hovering for several seconds before slamming back down. This event left the family in shock, their meal forgotten as they tried to comprehend what they had just witnessed. These kinds of physical disturbances became a regular occurrence, making daily life increasingly stressful and unpredictable. In addition to the moving objects, the family experienced a phenomenon known as apports, the sudden appearance of objects that had no logical explanation. Coins, stones, and small trinkets would materialize out of thin air, often falling from the ceiling or appearing in previously empty spaces. While some might find such occurrences intriguing, for the Perrons it was a constant reminder of the unseen force that controlled their home. The poltergeist activity was not limited to inanimate objects. It also seemed to affect the family pets. The Perrons' dog would often bark at seemingly nothing, growling at empty corners and refusing to enter certain rooms. The animal's distress mirrored the growing anxiety within the family, reinforcing the sense that they were under siege by an invisible force. These relentless disturbances wore down the family's nerves, creating an atmosphere of fear and tension. The once idyllic farmhouse had transformed into a battleground, with the Perrons caught in a struggle against an entity they could neither see nor understand. The escalation of poltergeist activity marked a turning point in their ordeal, as the haunting moved from unsettling to outright dangerous. The haunting at the Arnold estate became personal when spirits began to physically interact with the Perron family. These encounters were aggressive and at times violent. Carolyn Perron bore the brunt, left physically and emotionally scarred. She described feeling pinched or slapped by unseen hands. These attacks left visible marks, including bruises and scratches. The children were not spared either. They woke up with their beds shaking violently. These encounters underscored the malevolence of the spirits. One chilling experience involved a voice mimicking Roger Perron. Andrea Perron heard her father's voice from the cellar. She found the cellar empty. The real Roger was upstairs. This mimicry created confusion and distrust among the family. The voices often seemed to be in conversation with each other. These conversations ranged from mundane to hostile. The voices were loudest during moments of family tension. The constant presence of these voices wore down the family's resolve. They felt watched and listened to, their privacy invaded. This auditory torment created a living nightmare. The haunting at the Arnold estate reached its peak with what the Perron family believed to be possession. Carolyn Perron's behavior began to change in alarming ways. She would fall into trances, her voice and mannerisms changing drastically. She spoke in tongues, uttering phrases in unknown languages. Her facial expressions contorted, and her body moved unnaturally. A family friend of the Perrons sought help from paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens confirmed the house was plagued by multiple spirits. The family realized their only hope for peace was to leave the Arnold estate. The Perron family's ordeal had reached a critical juncture. Desperate for help, they sought Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators. The Warrens arrived with authority and compassion. Lorraine, a clairvoyant, sensed the house's oppressive energy. Ed, a demonologist, confirmed the severity of the hauntings. Their visit validated the Perrons' experiences. The Warrens explained the house's tragic history and its draw for spirits. They set up equipment to capture paranormal evidence. The arrival of the Warrens marked a new chapter in the Perron family's struggle. They warned that dispelling the spirits would be neither quick nor easy. Ed and Lorraine Warren began their thorough investigation of the Arnold estate. Lorraine used her clairvoyant abilities to communicate with the spirits. She sensed the presence of multiple entities, including Bathsheba Sherman. Ed focused on gathering tangible evidence with cameras and audio recorders. The evidence collected was compelling, including a photograph of a misty figure. These findings reinforced the Perrons' experiences. Despite the evidence, the Warrens knew more direct engagement with the spirits was needed. The next phase would involve understanding the spirits' motives. This process would test the Warrens' abilities and the Perron family's resilience. The investigation revealed the depth of the paranormal activity within the house. Bathsheba Sherman's name had been whispered in fear, but her full story remained murky. The Warrens uncovered a chilling portrait of Bathsheba's tragic life and lingering malevolence. Historical records painted her as a woman of beauty but a cold demeanor. Bathsheba Thayer was born in Rhode Island in 1812. In 1844, she married Judson Sherman, and they lived on a farm in Harrisville, Rhode Island. Together, they had a son, Herbert L. Sherman. Bathsheba's life is shrouded in mystery and legend, primarily due to rumors and local folklore. According to legend, Bathsheba was a practicing witch who performed dark rituals. She was alleged to have sacrificed her firstborn child to Satan, which caused the child's death. Local legends say that the infant died from a wound caused by a sewing needle penetrating the base of its skull, a common method supposedly used in witchcraft rituals of the time. The community turned against Bathsheba, accusing her of witchcraft and infanticide. Though she was brought to trial, there was insufficient evidence to convict her. She returned to her farm, but the community continued to believe she was guilty, and she lived under a cloud of suspicion and fear. Despite the accusations, Bathsheba continued to live in Harrisville, and she and her husband Judson managed their farm. The family lived relatively isolated, which further fueled the rumors and speculations about Bathsheba's involvement in witchcraft. Over time, her reputation as a witch grew, partly due to her reclusive lifestyle and partly due to the misfortunes that befell others in the community, which were often attributed to her supposed curses. Bathsheba died on May 25, 1885. According to local legend, her death was as mysterious as her life. It is said that she died of a strange form of paralysis that left her body in a state of near rigor mortis before she actually died, leading to more speculation about her involvement with dark forces. Officially, she was buried in the Harrisville Cemetery, where her gravestone can still be found. According to Lorraine, Bathsheba saw Carolyn as a threat, explaining the targeted attacks. Understanding Bathsheba's spirit was crucial for counteracting her influence. The Warrens prepared for a seance to confront Bathsheba. The revelation added a new layer of horror to the Perron family's experience. The decision to conduct a seance was not taken lightly. The seance was set for a cold, moonless night. Lorraine began to call out to Bathsheba, inviting her to communicate. As Lorraine entered a trance, the room grew cold and the candles flickered. Bathsheba's spirit spoke through Lorraine, expressing anger and defiance. Suddenly, Lorraine was thrown backward, and the room erupted in chaos. Carolyn was lifted and hurled across the room by an invisible hand. The seance ended abruptly, with Lorraine collapsing from the strain. Bathsheba's strong attachment to the house was confirmed. The seance intensified the struggle, leaving the family more vulnerable. In the aftermath of the seance, Roger Perron was furious and decided that the Warrens' presence and methods were doing more harm than good. He demanded that they leave the house and not return. This incident marked a significant turning point in the Perron family's dealings with the paranormal investigators, as it underscored the severity and unpredictability of the supernatural occurrences in the Arnold estate. After nearly a decade of torment, the Perron family decided to leave the Arnold estate. The continuous haunting took a toll on their well-being. In 1980, they moved away, seeking a fresh start. Leaving the Arnold estate marked a pivotal moment for the Perron family. They sought to escape the malevolent forces and find normalcy. Settling into a new home, they hoped to rebuild their lives. The transition was not without its challenges. Carol and Perron struggled with lingering trauma. The family sought therapy and support to heal. The Perron children found relief in their new home. Andrea Perron found solace in writing. Roger Perron focused on providing stability for his family. The move was the first step in a long journey towards healing. The Arnold estate, despite its dark reputation, continued to attract new owners after the Perrons' departure. Each new inhabitant brought fresh hope of a peaceful existence, but the house's haunted legacy proved difficult to escape. Subsequent owners reported a variety of strange occurrences, suggesting that the spirits of the estate remained active and entrenched within its walls. Norma Sutcliffe and her partner Jerry Helfrich purchased the house in 1987. Initially, they did not report any significant paranormal activity. However, after the release of the Conjuring movie in 2013, Norma stated that they began experiencing unusual occurrences. These included doors banging, sounds of footsteps, and a strange blue light. Norma and Jerry also dealt with increased public attention and trespassing issues after the movie's release. In June 2019, Corey and Jennifer Heinzen bought the Arnold estate, driven by a desire to explore its haunted legacy. They saw the house as a living laboratory for supernatural studies. Setting up cameras and recording devices, they documented disembodied voices and shadowy figures. Their EVPs captured intelligent and chilling responses. They opened the house to other investigators, enriching the body of evidence. Their work has deepened the understanding of the hauntings at the Arnold estate. Carolyn Perron was initially reluctant about the idea of their haunting being turned into a movie. The experiences had been deeply traumatic for the family, and she had reservations about revisiting those painful memories and exposing her family's story to public scrutiny. At first, she told Lorraine Warren no, and to never contact her family again. Carolyn discussed it extensively with her children, particularly Andrea Perron, who had already written a detailed trilogy, House of Darkness, House of Light, documenting their experiences. Andrea Perron was more open to the idea, believing that sharing their story could help others who might be experiencing similar paranormal events. She saw the film as an opportunity to shed light on the reality of their experiences and the impact of the supernatural on their family. Ultimately, Carolyn Perron gave her consent for the movie. The Perron family worked with the filmmakers to ensure that their story was told with sensitivity and accuracy. They provided insights and details that helped shape the narrative of the film. Roger Perron has chosen to live a more private life compared to some of his family members. Details about his current activities and whereabouts are not widely publicized, respecting his apparent preference for privacy after years of dealing with the public and media attention brought by their haunting story. The story of the Arnold estate, immortalized through the Perron family's experiences, has had a profound cultural impact. The Conjuring films brought the tale to a global audience, transforming the house into an icon of horror. The films, while dramatized, were rooted in real events, captivating viewers with supernatural terror. The cultural allure of the real Conjuring house lies in its combination of documented history and personal testimony. Andrea Perron's trilogy provided a detailed account of the family's ordeal. This literary work, along with the films, has kept the story alive, inspiring countless articles and discussions. The house itself has become a pilgrimage site for paranormal enthusiasts and thrill seekers. Tours and overnight investigations offer a chance to experience the haunted atmosphere firsthand. The combination of historical intrigue and the promise of a supernatural encounter makes the Arnold estate a unique destination. The cultural impact of the Arnold estate extends beyond entertainment. It has sparked interest in the broader field of paranormal research. The house serves as a case study in the complexities of hauntings, Its enduring allure lies in its ability to evoke fear, curiosity, and a sense of wonder. The real Conjuring house continues to captivate the imagination. It stands as a testament to the power of storytelling and the human fascination with the supernatural. The cultural legacy of the Arnold estate blends history, folklore, and personal experience. The Perron family's experiences at the Arnold estate offer valuable lessons about resilience, fear, and the human spirit. Their decade-long ordeal was marked by relentless hauntings, physical attacks, and psychological trauma. Yet through it all, the Perrons demonstrated remarkable strength and unity. The involvement of Ed and Lorraine Warren was crucial in validating the family's experiences. The Warrens' expertise and compassion offered a lifeline to the Perrons. Another important lesson is the power of resilience. The Perrons faced unimaginable fear daily, yet they found ways to cope and support each other. Their bond as a family was a source of strength. This resilience is a testament to the human spirit's ability to withstand and overcome adversity. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more haunting from around the world.